nowadays. You forget what to do.
Okay. I wish we had an equalizer on this screen, but we don't.
Equalizer.
Yeah, an audio, but yeah. So I set your gain. I set the settings. I
Microphone
tested
testing.
everything
1, 2, 3.
with headsets and all of that jazz. The only thing that we got to remember is there's no pickup on the
Why is
on
your
the
microphone
end.
straight up and mine is slanting?
Because
Gotta go like this.
yeah, you got to speak into
This.
even though we have it set for Omni,
Okay.
this is like the only dead spot.
Okay.
And everybody seems to want to talk into the dead spot.
Okay.
Okay.
I'm gonna try and go a little more, a little deeper today. What do you think?
An octave lower.
Yeah, an octave lower.
Okay.
Are you ready for a countdown?
Countdown it is.
5,
Major Bones is ready.
4, 3, 2, 1.
Welcome back, friends. Welcome back to another episode of The Jersey Alchemist. Today is sure to be a doozy. I'm your host, Dr. John Gerard Gallucci.
And I'm Philip D'Angelo.
What's going on, brother?
Not much. A beautiful day, spring day. I got to tell you, these production meetings are starting to get a little. I mean, I might have to call HR. I mean, the producer was here earlier, and laying down that iron fist. I mean,
Yeah.
there was some back and forth. I mean, of course, we are a rung or two below her.
Well,
Or
yeah.
but I mean, they always come out positive, and they always more information coming out than going in, so that's good.
Yeah.
I mean, I think sometimes, John, you do need somebody to just, a little direction. What do you think?
No, I agree.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Totally.
I've never seen a harder working producer anywhere in any podcast I've ever been on. That's because she's listening right behind the camera.
Yeah,
So that's
she
it. Listen,
is.
I get my brownie points
Yeah.
in, when I can. That's okay.
But I think we need to leverage her.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. No, she needs to start sitting for the podcast. Do you agree, producer?
I do.
Wow. That is amazing.
That is amazing.
Yeah. And this way
Yeah.
she can correct us on camera instead of correcting us off camera, you know?
Yeah. Bones can sit on your lap. How's that? Then you can pull a string and make his mouth move.
Wow, that'd be something. What about the weather? I mean, let's go, before we delve into anything dark, I mean, this weekend rained so hard.
It did.
I mean, it came down cats and dogs. Isn't that all this expression? Cats and dogs? It had to be
Yeah.
at least, 3 inches, 4 inches? Friday, Saturday?
Yeah. Somebody from Nutley put up a little calibrated tube on his. He had it on his fence. I don't know how many inches it was. I think it was close to 4 inches or something.
Yeah. And of course, like we discussed, I received a flat tire this weekend in the rain.
Yeah.
What other time would you want to get a flat tire? When it's sunny and 70 and people are around? No, wait till it's Saturday, till it's inclement weather and but hey, listen, that's just another experience, right? What are you gonna do?
Yeah.
How about when you get stuck in a snowstorm? You ever been stuck in a snowstorm? I mean, like you're in the middle of nowhere and you go off-road. I mean, that's happened to me as well.
No, it's not that I never will be, but maybe that's something that I just do everything I can to not have happen. I refuse to be that person that gets stuck in a snowstorm. We've all been behind on a not so steep upgrade, 3 inches of snow, and all the way up the hill, there's some person in a Mercedes that's rear wheel drive going. And the more he or she slips, the harder they lean on that gas pedal, which means there's even less friction between the rubber and the road. And now there's 80 cars behind them, and they're going nowhere fast. And they're all SUVs, and that person at the front is the only one with one wheel with a drive train to it in the back with flat tires. And the back of the car is sliding back and forth and back and forth. That's what Jersey's all about.
I was going to say, and in true Jersey fashion, if you have a flat tire or if you get stuck in something, nobody's helping you. Everybody's saying, I'm glad it's him and not me. And they just keep going. Right? I mean, have you ever helped anybody who's in distress on the side of the road?
Yes,
Really?
I have a story.
Let's hear about it.
Yeah.
Okay.
I had a girlfriend. This is all the way back about 1980, 81, something like
Wow.
that. And we went to a late movie, and then we went to the Pilgrim Diner
Oh,
for
memories.
something to eat. And it was about 11 p.m.
Okay.
And it was, I was going to say cold as a,
Be nice.
won't do it, right? It was, I don't know, somewhere below 10 degrees.
Wow.
And there was snow and ice like for a week on the ground. So it was kind of everywhere, like
Yeah.
impacted. And we pull up to a spot, and I was like, hey, look, we got a spot right up front. Terrific. That way, we were stupid kids. Neither of us were dressed for below 10 degrees.
Wow.
And as we're getting out, there's a guy on the other side of the car, some 17 or 18-year-old with his girlfriend, and he's got a tire flatter than flat.
Mm.
And he can't get the lug nuts loosened up. So now I go over there, and I'm doing the Good Samaritan thing, and I'm, got the lug wrench, and I'm on one end, he's on the other, and we're doing nothing. So I remembered my dad had a can of tire inflate in the
Yes.
garage.
Okay.
So we weren't real far from where I used to live. We were probably about, I don't know, a mile, or maybe a mile and a half. I says, don't worry, buddy, I'll be right back. Now the girl in what's like, what? Aren't we? And I said, well, look, you can either sit in the car or with me or go into the diner. So she goes into the diner, and I go running back to the house. I get the can. It's got some kind of propellant in it. I come all the way back, stick it down into his tire, and the tire goes, and it fills up. And I go, hey, buddy, there you go. We didn't do fist bumps back then, but it was a high five.
Right.
And as I was kind of saying, you got to be careful, blah, 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 the tire is going. So it went up, and it went down as fast as it went up. And I spent another hour out there freezing my ass off for this guy. And what do you think he does as I'm changing his tire?
Goes inside and eats.
He goes inside and he eats.
And
with
your
his
girlfriend's
girlfriend.
inside.
And my girlfriend's inside. And I'm
That's unbelievable.
frozen like a stupid mother. Right.
Wow.
Now I'm used to all my strength. And here go the lug nuts. And I get the jack, and his car goes up in the air, and I get his spare tire out of the back, and I put it on. I put the flat tire in his trunk, and I tighten all the lug nuts. And now I'm frozen beyond what I could ever thought I would be frozen and still be alive.
That is above
Right.
and beyond.
Right. Punchline?
Mm.
You know what it is. His spare tire was flat.
I
So I threw the.
I would have
right.
threw him in the
I
trunk.
wanted to throw him in the trunk and
With
conk
the
him
spare
over the
tire.
head with the lug wrench, and I went inside nearly frozen. It was over an hour from when I started this, and I walked in, and he was all done. He was happy. He was He says, well, I think I'll just call my dad. Okay, you're gonna call your dad. Great, you do that. Then I started to wonder what my life was all about. Now, I'm not one of those guys that says, oh, don't get a chill because you'll get a virus. You better go wear a coat because you'll get sick. I'm not that guy. The next day, when I woke up, I had the flu. I was sick with the flu for a week. I
Yeah.
couldn't move. I was vomiting, chills, breakbone chills and fevers. And I thought, that little son of a bitch,
Yeah.
the Good Samaritan,
John, there's an old saying, no good deed
Goes
unpunished.
unpunished.
And that
It's
is a
true.
prime example.
I think that whole episode was to teach me a lesson. Don't be a stupid asshole.
Yeah, I guess, Or sit down and eat first and then come back out, like everybody else, Or maybe
And if he's still there, okay, I'll help him.
Yeah,
I think
wow.
I'll call my dad. You little
Yeah.
jerk.
Wow, that's amazing. So, so that was the weather in Jersey. We didn't have much great weather. A lot of TV time.
You remember we got stuck behind the reservoir in Sessa's car?
Yeah, the green
Because
jet.
we hit the
Green
curb and
jet.
popped the
Yeah,
tire.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I never laughed so hard in my life, man, I tell you. Him cackling like that was pretty
Right.
funny. But with the weather, there was nothing really to do except watch TV. But everywhere you watched any channel on TV, all we had to do was talk about that Supreme Court decision that's going on. If you want to talk about that, I'm not sure. I mean, it's a hot topic on the ride over
You're
here.
talking about the whole abortion debacle?
Yes, yes. Well,
Okay.
well, let's start off in the beginning. I mean, so everybody, a lot of people are upset, and then we'll get down the road a little bit about the
I
actual
think you're a little bit better apprised on what's happening than me. But go ahead, and then
about a
we'll do
leak.
it.
So somebody, one of the Supreme Court judges,
Mhm.
wrote his opinion
Yeah.
on abortion, and somebody,
What prompted that?
I don't know. I think maybe they're going to rule on
They're bored?
they
Not enough
probably,
going on in the world.
Yeah, yeah, that could be it, on the legalities of abortion being a federal issue instead of a state issue. I believe that's what they're talking about.
Mhm.
But somebody actually leaked it to Politico, I believe,
Okay.
or the press, and his opinion,
Mm.
which I mean, isn't the right thing to do.
Isn't he from Jersey?
I'm not sure.
Alito?
Is he?
I think, yeah.
Yeah.
I think he's from
Okay.
Jersey.
But somebody took his opinion without him knowing it, supposedly, and just
Mhm.
leaked it out to the press, which has never been done before.
That means somebody did it on purpose.
Yeah,
And they knew it was gonna happen.
exactly.
This is not a, oh my God, I can't believe somebody leaked a SCOTUS opinion.
Yeah.
This was done intentionally on purpose.
They
Right.
say with those SCOTUS opinions, they're so watched over that even when they're done writing opinions, they'll shred it one way and then shred it another way, like to really make sure nobody reads anything on those papers. I mean, it really is destroyed 100%, just to keep the confidentiality. And
Well, you think they would shred it and burn it
yeah,
if it really meant that much.
I believe they think they burn it too.
Yeah, I
I'm not
can't
sure.
imagine why they wouldn't.
Yeah. So, I mean, how do you feel about somebody leaking stuff? I mean, a lot of that happened with 45 as president. I mean, anything he did, any phone call was leaked. Now, with the current administration, I don't think anything gets leaked, really, right? We don't know. We had a 2-hour conversation
Well,
with China. It doesn't get
How
leaked.
can you leak something? Maybe that, let's talk about Brandon, the big guy, right? What could possibly be in his head, inside his skull, between his two ears, that hasn't already leaked out?
Good point. Yeah, I think everybody's
What
everything's
could
leaking.
be in there?
I don't know. It doesn't seem like
Sometimes I actually think the whole thing is a hoax and he's an actor. People talk about body doubles and clones and all of that stuff. He's either been co-opted and scripted, or he's an actor playing Joe Biden as 46, because nobody could be that much of a bumbling fool on camera. Well, you know the thing. Jill, where is everyone? Which way am I supposed to go? I don't believe that bullshit for a second. That's ridiculous. That's over the top. That's they believe that that's how stupid the American public is, and I guess it's true.
Yeah. I mean, so there was that leak, which I don't think should have happened, and then there's the actual opinion of what they're going to do with abortion. I mean, they're going to
Well, so we have one Supreme Court justice's opinion that gets leaked.
yes,
Why, with all the things that are going on this planet now, right?
chaos.
Chaos. It's that little green thing with the spikes on it that are flying around, and it keeps changing its form. And Bill Gates keeps saying it's going to be worse. It's going to be more deadly. Everybody go out and get your Boeing.
Oh boy.
Screw you, Bill Gates.
Mm.
Screw you. Why don't you trip and fall in front of a cement mixer? A full cement mixer.
Yeah.
So it's that. And it's the economy. and it's bumbling idiot Joe Biden, and then it's what the mainstream media want to us to believe, that it's the psychopathic killer Vladimir Putin who's trying to take over the world through the Ukraine. So none of that's enough. Now, the biggest hot potato issue for the Supreme Court of the United States is probably abortion, Roe v. Wade. And now it's getting shoved down everybody's throats and up their rear ends. What? Come on. This is all scripted. Something else is going on, and they're trying to distract everybody. Okay, let's think of it from this standpoint. Whenever the next elections are, right? Everybody agrees that the Democrats are in dire straits. Dire straits, right? The vice president and the president and all of the goons in his gaggle of goons haven't done anything to help the Democratic cause. So the Democratic base, unless you're just an obstinate fool, they're worried. They are worried about what's going to happen with them versus the Republicans, right? Okay. Why would the Republicans squander that unbelievable leverage point? Why would the Republicans, when they're riding high, only because the Democrats are riding so low, why would the Republicans say, let's energize the Democratic base. Let's energize the left. Let's get them all juiced up and riled up. And there's no topic better to do that than abortion. So somebody out there in La La Land, explain to us, why would the Republicans, with such a commanding leverage over the next up and coming elections, why would they do something now that would completely electrify the left, the Democrat base? And the answer is, it was never about abortion. It's not about the next set of elections. It's not about Republican versus Democrat. It's about them playing the same side of the field against us, and they got something up their sleeve, and they're hiding something, and they're trying to keep us unaware of some other issue. What is the Supreme Court really up to? I heard late last night that all of the justices have been sequestered, and here comes that famous line from government that George Carlin used to love: it's for your safety. It's for your safety. Oh, so the government is sequestering the Supreme Court justices so that nobody takes a pot shot at them? The left, the right, whoever. Oh, so now they're all sequestered. Now they can talk about anything. Now they can vote on anything. And it's happening all at the same time. 2,000 Mules is now being viewed. So it's been suggested that this whole issue is really about the 2020 election and has nothing to do with the distraction that is Roe v. Wade.
Well, what would they be distracting from, John? The open border where thousands of people are coming through every day? Could it be?
Pick a topic.
Could it be inflation at 8%, 40-year high? Could that be it? Could it be the massive amount of money and arms that we have sent to Ukraine? I mean, what really could it be? I mean, or it could be cover up, like you said, that 2,000 Mules, that information that's coming out about, the vote.
Well, I have enough friends that are on the left, and they are my friends. Would I trust them with a knife in their hand and turn my back on them? No. But they're people I've known for longer than I know you. And I know right away what they would say. First of all, they're never going to watch 2,000 Mules. And if they were duct taped to a chair and forced to watch 2,000 Mules, they would just dismiss it. They would say, oh, this is all just fanciful lies. All lies, all lies. No, it was the most secure election in the world, just like Don Lemon says.
John, how do you feel? Why is abortion such a hot topic where, like we said earlier, somebody, everybody's hair is literally on fire when you talk about this. Whether you're pro-choice
I love that. I love that saying.
or pro-life,
Yeah.
I mean, everybody is like wants to go to the mattresses over this.
Yeah. My opinion, is that it is unlike other topics, it is a deeply, deeply personal topic where um, people make a decision in their lives. Uh, but it doesn't matter whether it's a boyfriend and a girlfriend, or lovers, or a one night stand, or a husband and a wife. Although they make the decision very often together to not have a child and they have an abortion, this really comes down to bottom line. Well, it's the woman that carries the baby. So, the the sperm donor has got to go take a back seat on this one. Not entirely, not if you're a tight marriage, that's a different story. But I think most of the cases of abortion don't happen within tight marriages, because if they did, they wouldn't be having an abortion. That's what they wouldn't be doing. So, deeply personal, and there seems to be already a paved big superhighway of hatred from the left toward conservative white people. Now, who are most of the politicians in the Republican, the RNC? Most of them are, at least for show, the conservative white men. So you got that superhighway already paved. Even the lines are already down, right? So the left gets on that highway because it leads straight to the conservative white males of the RNC. It's already there for them. All they have to do is start a march and clanging gongs and banging cymbals and slogans and chants, and they've got, it's instant protest, which they have a right to do. They have a complete right to do that. I think for those who study the issue, I think where the rubber meets the road on that great highway is what you were talking about before. It's the funding. It's the funding. So right now, federally, and you can correct me because I don't pay a lot of attention to this stuff. I don't. I'm anything but a politician. So right now, abortion is legal, correct?
Federally, yes.
Federally,
50
okay.
states.
Now, if they overturn Roe versus Wade, correct me, and this is 101, but I have to apologize to the viewers. I really don't get into this stuff because it's such a distasteful, hot topic. It's like, well, why would I? Why would I? And I'm going somewhere with this where most viewers that know me won't anticipate. And my friends from the left, and we are friends, probably wouldn't figure either. Okay. What? To me, it's number one, what's it all about? Alfie. Okay. Now, anybody on social media that wants to comment about abortion, about the abortions themselves, you don't have a right to open your mouths unless you've performed or assisted on abortions. When you go through medical school and you're doing an OBGYN rotation, there you are. Oh, where are you assigned today, Bobby? Oh, I'm assigned to be in GYN clinic. Oh, that's good. What about you, Kathy? Well, I'm assigned to be on labor and delivery. What about you, John? Oh, I'm down in the OR with Dr. So-and-so. You know that guy that they kind of nicknamed Dr. Death? Oh, really? You're doing abortions today? Well, I guess. I don't think I'm doing them as a medical student, but that's where I'm going to be today. And it was a whole handful, one after the next. He went from room to room to room to room to room, where everybody was set up. And I know I did not assist, but I stood shoulder to shoulder. Well, he was on a chair and I was standing right next to him, and there's only so much room in between stirrups when somebody's in stirrups. And I was completely amazed, and I don't even have a word for how I felt when, you know, you ask those questions as a medical student. It doesn't matter that you've read the chapter. It doesn't matter that somebody maybe gave you a, you know, an hour lecture on the topic. But at the start of the procedure, there's a woman on a table with her legs in stirrups, and there's a baby that's there and alive. Now, right away, the left is going to take issue with what I said. There's a baby. As a pediatric surgeon who spent decades operating on the smallest, youngest would be 24 week, 24 and a half week, because before that, they're really not viable. So the youngest, tiniest, most premature infants that come sliding out too early, if they're viable and they need emergency surgery, I'm the guy that did it. I went into their chests. I went into their abdomen. I took out dead bowel. I sucked out dead bowel. I made colostomies and stomas, and I fixed them and I healed them, and almost all of them actually lived. And then after a couple of months, when they're big and healthy, you close everything up, you take their stomas away, and for the most part, they're good to go. Now, that's oversimplifying the issue. But I'm the guy that was toiling to save the lives of a 25-weeker, while other people had a super sucker stuck up their uterus to suck out their baby limb from limb. Yeah, limb from limb. Now, right. So it's the sounds, it's the smells, it's the emotion, it's the whole shit show of feeling the pulsing of the suction tubing that goes from the catheter that's inserted to the pump and the canister with the bucket and the basket and a stockinette to catch the products of the abortion. And it's and then it's pull, rip. Here comes the leg. Left leg, right leg. Who cares? Here comes the rib cage. Here comes the heart. Holy smokes. Here come all of the intestines. Here comes half the head. Where's the brain? It's in the other half. Here comes an eyeball. Here comes the tongue. Here comes the pelvis. Is that everything? Now we got to be sure. So we spread it all out onto an OR towel. And we look and we go right through all the pieces. Left leg, right arm. Wait, the left arm's here, but there's no hand. That means the hand is still inside. Well, you got to account for all of the discernible pieces of the baby, because if you're missing a major part, guess where it is? Still inside. That's what an abortion is. Now, there are medical reasons for an abortion. I hate the whole issue and topic of abortion, but it is part of being a human being, so we're talking about it today. I don't believe that anybody should willy-nilly say, oh yeah, I'm pregnant. Oh yeah, me and Bobby. Yeah, we got it on. Now I'm pregnant. Yeah, I'm not ready for a kid. Fuck it. I'm gonna go get an abortion. Really? Okay. God help you. And you are gonna turn in on yourself 10, 15, 20, 30 years from now when you look back at how irresponsible you were with human life. Your body, your choice? Really? Okay. Well then, don't tell me that I need boing boing, because it's my body and it's my choice, and everybody's drawing that parallel. Okay. Now, let's talk about, the person that was raped. I don't have a lot to say about that. I'm not here judging people who are so traumatized, as they should be, by that episode that if God forbid they become pregnant, they don't want to carry that baby. Your body, your choice. Your body, your choice. That's just one of those unfortunate things that apparently it occurs, although apparently it's pretty rare. There's something a topic I want to raise within this topic that really is where the rubber meets the road for me. And a lot of my friends on the left are not going to anticipate what I have to say. Everybody on this planet is born into this third dimension with free will. Free will. And I'm the first one to tell you the government should lay off. The government shouldn't be controlling us any more than they already do. They're way, way, way too far over the line as far as I'm concerned. Your decision to have an abortion should be your decision. Here it comes, gang. Your decision should be yours. It should not be the government's. There shouldn't be some gray-haired politician or some young person who's looking to climb the ranks of the political world, legislating and telling women what to do. No. Why? Because it steals your free will. Let's talk about spiritually what free will is all about. Free will means you are faced with all sorts of issues and challenges in this life. And you have the free will to cognate, to think on that issue, to chew on it, and to come up with, well, on this hand versus, well, on the other hand. And that's your free will. That's your right. And whatever decision you make, and you see it through, whether there's action or inaction, it's your free will that leads you to that decision, and that's the only way that your decision, that the happenstance has teeth to it. What are the teeth? Consequence. What is spiritual growth all about? It's challenge. It's contemplation and cognation. It's making a choice. It's seeing your choice through, and then it's dealing with the consequences of your choice. Think about that. If everybody were just in a cage like a bunch of gerbils, we'd have no free will. And then there's no consequence to anything, is there? I.e., no challenge, no choice, no discernment, no action, no inaction, no consequence to what was in your heart and in your mind. What does that all spell? It spells there's no spiritual growth. You haven't learned a blessed thing, and that's why we're here. So, I don't believe that the government should be telling people what they can and cannot do with their bodies medically, and that includes that syringe with that pointy thing. Don't tell me. That's it. So my friends on the left would not have expected me to say, I'm pro-choice, but it's let the buyer beware. Oh, is it let the buyer beware? It is. I'm pro-choice.
Yeah.
And I can say that with the crucifix over my head and being a follower of Jesus Christ. You know why? Because I am not going to steal anybody else's free will. Period. Bottom line. I'll take that to my grave. I am not here to steal your free will. Done.
John, I can understand both sides. I really can. I mean, it is a woman's choice, a woman's body. She has, like you said, the free will to make her decisions and to live with them. On the other side, you have pro-lifers, and they say, like at 5 or 6 weeks, there's a heartbeat. I mean, and that baby, it's a baby now. It's a living thing. And if you're hurting a living thing, it's, if you're killing it, it's murder. That's how they feel. You know, that's how the far right
listen,
feels.
I'm not far right, but it is murder. And you know something? If you take a woman who's 16 weeks pregnant and that baby comes sliding out at 16 weeks, that baby is done for. The baby is just so ill-baked that it's not compatible with living on the outside, in the world, in the atmosphere. It's just not capable, okay? It's not. Um,
What about John? I mean, could be other alternatives.
what I was going to say, when I look at you, that means I forgot where I am.
Yeah.
So when that baby comes out, okay, let's say somebody devised some magical treatment to take that 16-weeker and stick it in an incubator, in floating around in some kind of solution. Actually, when they clone babies, that's how they grow, right? Um, but who would bet? Oh, I bet that that fetus could actually turn into a dolphin or a dog or a pig or an elephant or a chicken. It ain't gonna happen, people. It ain't gonna happen. What does that mean? It means the fetus is human. It's a human fetus. It's not the fetus of a reptile. It's just not. So, um, all bets are off on when the human soul implants itself into the fetus. I don't know that answer, and I would venture to say that there's nobody on this planet that really does. I would speculate that everybody's an individual, and I believe in reincarnation. And I think some people wait until the very last second to see how it's going to go and go, oh, yeah, I guess I got to go. I guess I got to want to go. And boom, into the baby they go. Now they're in a delivery room and they're screaming their asses off because they know they're back into the third dimension. Oh, shit. That's why babies scream. There's nothing nice about coming back into the third dimension.
Wow.
So,
Well put. Now, I like how you said individual rights. I mean, the big topic is this Roe versus Wade gets overturned, but it doesn't mean that there's not going to be abortions.
but that's not the talking point. This is steeped in fear. This is like the slippery slope. That's why the Democrats and the left and people who are vehemently pro-choice. You can have some people on the right that are pro-choice, right? I'm pro-choice for all the reasons why I just told you I'm pro-choice. They but they think about the slippery slope, and they think that if Roe v. Wade goes, then it's right down the chute, and that we're going to be right back to illegal abortion clinics in some back alley in a city, coat hangers, all that stuff. Well, all that stuff did happen. All that stuff did happen, and I would venture to say that it'll happen again if abortion actually becomes illegal from A to Z, stem to stern. And I don't think that should happen. I am not so presumptuous to say that because I feel a certain way about abortion, that everybody has to believe what I believe. There's no way. Remember, gang, we're here to exercise free will. Whoever wants to take your free will away needs to be fought against. Doesn't matter who it is, doesn't matter what the topic is. That's it.
So after this is over, if it's overturned, and it goes to the individual states, I mean, what's going to change? I mean, as far as I know, your liberal states, the Californias, New Yorks,
If it gets
I don't think anything's going to
here's
change.
here's my opinion on here's what I see happening. Okay, if it gets overturned, right at the federal level, you're going to see abortion clinics popping up everywhere because there's going to be not an equal but opposite reaction. There's going to be an overreaction, and now anybody who's got any kind of funding that was against overturning Roe versus Wade, they're going to try to kind of overstate the case. They're going to overplay their parts, and then you're going to see pregnancy centers and abortion clinics popping up here, there, and everywhere, just to kind of overcompensate and say, see what you did? You know, there were 10,000 abortion clinics, now there's 30. Screw you. That's what's going to happen.
John, what about talking about protest? What about the right to protest? I mean, there were people that were desecrating churches. They were going into masses, disrupting the proceedings.
Mhm.
I mean, listen, everybody's allowed to have their choice whether they want an abortion or not. And everybody's allowed to protest. But I don't think you can really. I know it's illegal to stop people from going to practice religion and from going inside a church or any form
It's
of worship.
illegal to stop people from practicing their religion.
No. Protesting.
Yeah.
Really
No, no.
bad.
I was going
Yeah,
somewhere.
sorry about that.
No. But that's okay. But the point is, of course, back to George Carlin. But it's for your safety, right?
Yeah.
So during the pandemic, churches were closed, but Home Depot was open.
Mm. People got arrested at mass for going to church.
Yes, they did. Yes, they did. Now there's an old, I don't want to call it religious. I guess we can by default. There's an old religious dictum, and it's for the most part Christian, and I can't disagree with it. Satan is the prince and ruler of this world. That's all there is to it. And look at the music industry. We talk about, I love to bash the music industry. Let's talk about all of those beautiful gospel singers that start out singing at home with grandma on the piano or their dad on the piano, and they're just amazing. And it doesn't matter whether they're white or they're black. They could be from upstate New York or from Alabama. But then they have their debut at the local church, and they're in a gospel worship group, and they are fabulous. Where are they going with their musical career? Nowhere. They're going to church. And that's as far as it's going to go for the most part. If any of them are really, really talented, there's only one way. They break onto the national and international scene, and that's by allowing themselves to be co-opted by the rulers of this world. And what does that mean? Well, just put Hannah Montana next to present-day Miley Cyrus. Just put Lady Gaga from Paramus, New Jersey, up against that girl who gave herself to Satan with Marina Abramovich, and right on television says, I swear to Satan. Who are you kidding? You think that we don't know what you've done? Right? And of course it brings up that whole issue of Satan, tempting Jesus when he was out there for 40 days and 40 nights after his baptism by John the Baptist, who was his cousin, and before he started his ministry. Satan took him to all sorts of places. Oh, you're starved? Oh, well, turn these rocks into bread if you're the Son of Man. Surely you can do that. Man does not live by bread alone. Okay? Then he takes him up on top of the temple in Jerusalem and says, if you're the Son of God, it's said that he'll send his angels and you will not strike your foot upon a rock. Throw yourself off. And if Jesus says, well, thou shalt not tempt the Lord. Okay. Then he takes him to some high mountainside and shows him all of the cities of the world, I guess, metaphorically. I don't know how far you can see on the top of a mountain back then. He says, all of this will be yours. All of this will be given to you. Bow to me and worship me. Stop the story right there. All you got to do is look up Lady Gaga and Marina Abramovich, the spirit cooker who takes human blood and spit and sperm and urine and makes a potion and then they drink it? Oh, I didn't make that up, gang. I didn't make that up. You can watch it on YouTube. Um,
Well,
well, and it goes on and on and on. I was going to say something else, and now I just got so caught up in that image of her writing with blood on the wall and whatnot. I mean, it's just completely ridiculous. Look up Bob Dylan. Bob Dylan sitting there with his head down. Hey, Bob, how did it feel going from obscurity to one of the most famous artists on the planet? Well, I sold my soul. What? What do you mean? Who'd you sell? You sold your soul? Yeah, you heard me. I sold my soul. To who? Who'd you sell your soul to? To the big guy. To the big man. Satan. Bob Dylan says it right on a YouTube video. Just look it up. You think it's fanciful. You think it's a childhood story. No, it's not, gang. It's for real. And it's the 1,000-pound gorilla in the room, and you all want to ignore it. You all want to ignore it. So when the world's going to hell in a handbasket, and you think, oh, well, it really can't be what they're saying it is. It can't be. Therefore, so, we're not going to do anything about this. And yeah, he prays. He prays. He thinks that somebody's listening to him. He meditates. He thinks he's going somewhere. You're all a bunch of fools if you think that what's happening in the world is happening by mistake or you think it's a big joke. I could rant on like that for hours.
John, do you feel that between you touched on music, the abortion issue, all these issues going on, do you think society today is morally bankrupt? And God is vanishing, diminishing? I mean, it seems to me that's where we're
Satan's
headed.
minions prowl and roam the earth looking for souls to devour. I didn't make those words up. It happens to be true. And for anybody who happens by the Jersey Alchemist and you want to know what I believe is going on in the world, society is massively morally bankrupt and corrupt. Every bit of society is corrupt, from the pulpits to the bankers to the food industry to big pharma, which is one of the most corrupt industries on the planet, to the healthcare industry, to the insurance industry, any industry you want to talk about. Why did it take decades for automobile manufacturers to put airbags in the cars? Why? Why? I'll tell you why. Because they didn't give a shit if you went through the window and were killed. Windshield and killed. They didn't give a shit. As long as you bought that car. That's it. They didn't care.
So I guess the answer would be yes.
It's a resounding big fat yes. And let me tell you, the only way that things are going to change is if there are more people shedding light on this planet than there are shedding darkness. That's it. It sounds like a simple fix. Well, in theory, it's a simple fix. But if you take it personally and you take it right back to every little thought that you have and every action or inaction that you exercise with your free will, if you take it to that level, the entire issue falls in your lap. It's one person at a time. One person at a time. You have a choice. You can be a blue pillar and think everything is just hunky-dory and that people like Gallucci, oh yeah, he's really out there. Okay. I'll tell you what. I know what I know. And you guys seem to not know what you don't know, which is excusable. It's completely okay. Phil asked the question, is society morally bankrupt? Well, it slowly got nudged in that direction by Satan and Satan's minions. And where were they put? In positions of power. In positions of power. How do you get the president of a school board to sanction all different shades of gray of human sexuality to children that are K through 3? I would say you better shut your mouths K through 8th grade. You get no business teaching my kids about deviant sexuality. And they're in the 1st grade? Seriously? Seriously? If you don't call that moral bankruptcy, then I don't know what it is, and who does it, and in this instance, shit rolls downhill, but the reverberation, it bounces right back up to the school boards. That's it. And where does it go from there? It goes to the Commissioner of Education, the Commissioner of Health. It goes up to the governors. Ooh, now we're getting somewhere. The governors, oh boy.
John, if you had to alchemize this episode and shed some light, I mean, what words could you offer the people out there?
The only thing that I could say is, oh Lord, creator of the universe, on the topic of abortion and human beings having their babies ripped from their wombs for whatever reason, shed some light, shed some love. Turn that river of love and light that's here and there all over the universe and bestow a big dose of that onto humanity. We do have free will, but free will is where the rubber meets the road, people. So, oh Lord, please help each and every one of us have the realization that all we have to do is let the Holy Spirit into our hearts, and we start thinking with our God center instead of our fear-based ego, and we will make the right decisions. And then issues like abortion will vanish. One day, the issue of abortion will vanish.
Wow.
We're not there yet.
Wow, that was great words. Okay, John, great episode.
Thank
You for shedding light on that
Yeah.
very, very dark topic.
Yeah,
I'm sure
and
the
our
listeners
producer
appreciate it.
was watching the whole thing.
Every word. I'm sure we'll have a full review
She's
right
gonna
after
yell
this is
at me,
done.
I think.
Yeah, I don't think so. I think you were fabulous. Thank you, people, for watching The Jersey Alchemist. If you like what we're doing, press like and subscribe. Peace.